Yo guys, what's up? Over the last 2 years, I've played 2 scooter games on the channel, Scoot and ScooterFlow. I don't think I've ever uploaded a video on either of those games without getting a comment asking which one I think is better or which one do I prefer. So I thought today I would actually compare the 2 games and give you guys some sort of answer to those questions. For this head-to-head scooter game comparison, we're going to be going over 4 categories. We've got graphics, gameplay, customization, and game features. Before we get into it, I would just like to say that these games are only available on Steam, and that is because they are in early access. These games are still heavily in development. Try to keep that in mind. There's still lots of updates and things to be added to these games. But if you do have a gaming PC and you're interested in one of these, maybe this could help you make the decision between both. I would also like to remind anybody that does play games on Steam, you can play up to 2 hours and still get a full refund. So I would suggest buying both of these games, trying them out for an hour, hour and a half, and if you don't like one, you can get a refund. So let's start with graphics. Graphics between ScooterFlow and Scoot. Which one do I think has the edge? I don't think Scoot has bad graphics, but I think I definitely prefer the cleaner look of ScooterFlow. Not to mention the texture resolution on ScooterFlow, especially when it comes to the character and the actual scooter itself. Like if we look at a ScooterFlow scooter next to a Scoot scooter, it's a pretty obvious winner. So ScooterFlow definitely having the upper hand or the win on graphics for the moment. All right, let's get into gameplay. Now this one is obviously going to be personal preference. But if I had to pick one, I would definitely pick Scoot. These games actually play quite a bit differently. ScooterFlow is definitely trying to go a more realistic route, whereas Scoot is kind of like a simcade. It's definitely got some simulator realistic aspects to it, but you can also do some pretty crazy, wild, unrealistic stuff in Scoot. I definitely like the feel of ScooterFlow. I like having more control and full control of everything that's going on. Personally, I like to play these kinds of extreme sports games kind of technical, and in Scoot having all the different grind combinations as well as nose manuals, being able to link it all together is just something that I really can't get enough of, and that's what I love to do in these kinds of games. So for the time being, Scoot definitely wins this because ScooterFlow, I mean, the grind system, although is somewhat satisfying, I guess, it's really frustrating not being able to lock into certain grinds. I hope going forward they kind of keep the same feel where you really have to line up with the rail, but I would love to get into certain positions before I hit the rail to do specific grinds, which would be honestly a game changer for that game. That would be super awesome. But for now, Scoot definitely, when it comes to gameplay, that's definitely what I prefer, and that's gonna win that category for me. All right, customization. When it comes to ScooterFlow, you have full customization of your scooter. And the really cool thing about the customization in ScooterFlow, it's literally like you went to a scooter shop and are building your own scooter in real life. They have all brand name products, a huge selection of all those products as well. As long as you rode the brands that are in the game, you could straight up make your scooter that you ride in real life in the game. And I think that's kind of special to a lot of people. For Scoot, the customization pretty much is there's a couple different styles of each part, and you can just choose the color and whether the paint job is flat or polished. You can actually customize your character in Scoot, which you can't do in ScooterFlow. You get some different hairstyles, some different clothing option. The clothing is actually dynamic, but I'm definitely a lot more impressed by the customization of the scooter and ScooterFlow. So I think for customization, we got to give it to ScooterFlow. All right, we got our final category, game features, and to be honest, Scoot just absolutely blows ScooterFlow out of the water. When I think of game features on ScooterFlow, I basically think, you have the ability to add mod maps to the game at the moment. You can get off your scooter and walk around, which might make it a little bit easier to set a session marker. And on mod maps, they've recently added this drone feature to get around the maps quicker and add a session marker, although I really haven't found myself using that really at all. Scoot, on the other hand, has quite a bit of game features. Not only can you add community mod maps, but you can also create your own maps in the game. There's a park editor that allows you to get pretty creative in making whatever you want, really. I haven't messed around with the park editor too much, but I've definitely downloaded community-made park editor maps, and there's some really cool creations in there. In order to capture what you do in ScooterFlow, you basically have to be recording while you're playing it, where in Scoot, you can just open up the replay. You have the orbit cam, you got the free cam. You can add keyframes, so you can actually get some pretty nice looking clips. It definitely needs a little bit of work still. The transition between keyframes can be a little jarring at times, but yeah, I mean, the replay editor is such an awesome feature to have in an extreme sports game, and it's only going to get better. You can also get off your scooter and scoot, and the on-foot navigation and just what you can do is quite a bit better than ScooterFlow. There's kind of like a parkour element to it. You can jump and do flips and land on your feet. You can also climb up ledges, and it just kind of adds like a fun little element to the game. So yeah, that was basically the simplest way I could think of comparing these two. I definitely prefer Scoot, pretty much for the gameplay alone, but also having that replay editor is pretty nice. To be honest, I really like both of these games, and I'm really excited to see where they go. Not really into scooters all that much. I do ride BMX if this is somehow your first time seeing me and you've made it this far into the video. But I think that kind of just speaks to how fun and cool these games are, because, you know, I play them quite a bit, to be honest. Anyways, guys, if you play these games, let me know in the comments what you think about both of these games, which one you prefer, which one you play, and what you're looking forward to seeing in these games. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, we'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.